showtime. The thing comes up and says, it's showtime. You are live. You get all these great messages. All right, here we are. It's Sunday night. Welcome, everyone, to another installment of Sunday Night KloobySnack time. Yeah. Abby, it's still getting used to this 3,000 miles away version of what we're doing. This is, 3 weeks you've been in New York. Yeah. So it's going to get more normal, right? And we've got like 15 weeks left in the year. That's interesting too. We're not only more than halfway, we're almost done with the third baker's dozen. So just to set the table for everyone, KloobySnacks, by now you may know there's 52 of them. 52 divided by 4 creates 4 baker's dozens. So we started the year with the loving flavored baker's dozen, then the ego flavored baker's dozen. Right now we're in the discipline flavored baker's dozen. We're almost done with the discipline flavored baker's dozen. And then we'll finish the year with a baker's dozen of integrity flavored KloobySnacks. So before I get into a review of the snacks that we've covered so far in this particular baker's dozen leading up to tonight, Abby, what are we celebrating? How's your week been? What is it like in New York City? And what's going on? Where are you right now? Go ahead, take it away.
Okay, I'll start with where I am. I'm currently sitting outside of the elevators to my floor because my roommate's asleep and the lounge is being used. So here we are. Yesterday was my 18th birthday, which is really cool. Finally.
Happy birthday, Abby! Yay, you're an adult. Despite the fact that you've been behaving.
Happy birthday, Abby! Happy birthday!
Thank you.
Yeah, despite the fact that you've been behaving like one since the age of 6, you're actually an adult now.
Officially. I am officially an adult. So this weekend has been fun. What was the other question? Oh, I love New York. That was the third one.
Yeah, one of the things that I will share, it's been fun for me there's a couple of days last week where I wake up and I see inbound messages from you. I think we've talked about this, but it's different, right? I get to joke, and Charlie, you were on before we started live streaming, and you're Jeff, the tears, are you sad that Abby's gone? And it's like, well, I mean, don't take this the wrong way, but not really. I'm too excited for her. I've known that she's born for this, and I didn't always enjoy living with her. Like when, it was only a month ago when I would send her a text message and she would never respond. And I'd be like, did you get my message? Oh, you texted me? And now, just less than a month later, I'm getting initiated text. So that's just one icon, and it's sweet. So many things about our relationship has changed. But it didn't just change when you moved to New York and I didn't have to tell you to clean your room anymore. It started a year ago when we agreed to work on this project. This has been revolutionary for us. And it's just we're in a sweet spot in our relationship now. And I just really enjoy when you do something in your classes and it makes you think of me, and next thing you know, you're texting me about, a book that you're reading or an assignment that you've got, or I can't even begin to tell you how wonderful it feels to be thought of and to receive proactive communication from you while your mind is open to all of these new experiences that you're having. So tell me more about your week. It was birthday week. You're getting into your classes a little bit more. Any other highlights you want to share before we get into the KloobySnack time?
I saw one of my friends from San Diego, which was nice because I haven't seen anybody from home. So I saw her today and we hung out all day, and she's actually mentioned in the book. So it's my friend Claire.
KloobySnack 22, in fact, where you were writing about your friend Claire, quote, joined my theater company at the same time as me, and we've grown up on stage alongside each other. She was the Tinkerbell and I was a Lost Boy. We both played Mer Sisters in The Little Mermaid, and I was the Scarecrow to her Dorothy.
Yeah.
So you wrote all about her in admiration of her in KloobySnack 22. Tell me a little bit more about what it was like to see her in both of your new settings in New York City.
Yeah, she's at Long Island University for musical theater, and I'm here. So she took the train in, and we saw each other, and it was just so weird. I met her at Rockefeller Center, and I see her, and I was like, this is the weirdest thing. We walked around, we caught up, and we talked about theater and all that she's doing now and how she's still pursuing that. And I just thought it was so cool. So she was talking about all of her classes and the show she's doing and all this stuff. But it was really cool. It was really cool. It was really random too, just out of nowhere. Yesterday, she was like, "Oh, what are you doing tomorrow? Should I come to the city?" And I was like, "Yes, girl." So that was really cool. Definitely a highlight of the week. Aside from that, I've just been adjusting to classes. I've everything's picking up now, so it's a lot more work and a lot more stuff. So I've just been kind of doing that. hanging out with my friends. I love my friends. Yeah, that's about it.
All right. Well, I appreciate your resourcefulness hanging out in like the little lobby where the people come off the elevator to the floor of your
Yeah,
dorm
there was
room.
somebody just standing there for the past like 5 minutes also.
Well, the show must go on. That's one of the definitions, unofficial definitions of being a professional. The show must go on. I had a funny, I might as well tell you, earlier in the week, I had my third Vistage talk. And it went so well. I was so excited coming out of it that I started going the wrong way home on the freeway. And I didn't realize until I got to like LAX. And that's what snapped me out of my funk. Like, oh my God, LAX, that's the wrong way. I'm supposed to go south, not north. And ironically, by the time I started to turn around and head my way back up, but I got to stop off in Redondo Beach by a friend of mine's house who had just lost his father the day before. And it's the friend of mine, Jason, who went around the country with me to see a baseball game in every major league stadium. So I was like, wow, it was almost like I was supposed to go the wrong way. Do you know what I mean? And that was the day of the 90-day challenge. And, I was laughing at myself, but it was like, at the end of the day, I thought I was supposed to go the wrong way. I felt like I was spiritually kind of guided to like be there and sit with one of my best friends on the planet and share whatever wisdom I could about what it's like to, lose parents, and I'm in right now the 5-year anniversary of the 3 weeks where I had lost both of mine. So very interesting week, but I tell you, hearing from you in the mornings when you're excited about what you're doing is just the greatest thing in the world. So let me just go ahead and mention this. No, that's the wrong. This one. Yeah, if anybody wants to jump in and come and join us in the conversation, we're about to review all of the KloobySnacks that we've had in our discipline flavored section before we read tonight's snack. And boy, am I excited about tonight's KloobySnack. It's an OG, like one of the longest standing, oldest KloobySnacks that there is. There's a couple of other reasons it's near and dear to my heart. I can't wait to discuss it. And especially, Abby, just given where you're at now, when you read your entry, it's going to be interesting. I've been looking forward to your reflections on tonight's snack. Yeah. So, I had another thought. Yeah, if anybody wants to come on in and join the conversation, we're here. Charlie, you're here by audio only, all the way from South Africa. Tip of the cap to you, sir. It's nice to see you.
Thank you, Coach Chef. Thank you. It's good to be here. I'm still like groggy, half asleep. It's like 5 o'clock in the morning.
Well, that's awesome. I mean, it's always wonderful for us to know that KloobySnacks are worth waking up for. I don't know how else to say it. It's kind of like a slogan right there.
Absolutely.
All right, so here we go. As mentioned, the first Baker's Dozen was loving flavored. We covered those, January, February, March, and then we moved on to ego flavored, and that was April, May, June, and then we've been in discipline flavored, and we're coming towards the end of this section. But let's go ahead and review the snacks that we've covered to date, and then we'll rock and roll from there. So number 27, when we judge ourselves by intent while others we judge others by their actions.
There you go.
28, the biggest problem with apology and forgiveness is the guilty verdict they both require. Super heavy snack in this section right there. I think that's like the heaviest snack. 29, the road to mastery is paved with fundamentals. I always love putting the fun back in the fundamentals, but the road to mastery is paved with fundamentals. It's not a quick fix. It's not a whiz-bang strategy. It's not a cutting-edge, latest whiz. It's basics. It's fundamentals. That's the path to mastery. All right, number 30, the only mistake to be afraid of is the one we don't learn from. As long as we are committed to learning, there's really no such thing as a mistake, just learning wrapped in a little discomfort called growing pain. But growing pain is better than the pain of regret, so I've heard. All right, number 31, every job is an inside job. So many things that we could elaborate on regarding this snack, but everything starts and ends with our mindset. All right, number 32, if you want to be paid attention, pay it first. I will tell you, Abby, can I tell you right now that earlier in the week when I did my Vistage presentation, I've tested it. It works now that I mentioned when I'm doing the credibility piece, and I say, yeah, I'm a 3-time best-selling author. You're going to hear today about the Integrity Game. That's one of the best-selling books. But I put the graphic up that has the 3 bestsellers, and KloobySnacks is in the middle. And I just get to say, hey, listen, this is my favorite. This is a different project. It's different than all of them. It's with my daughter, number 1 in the parenting girls category. And so, you might hear me say some KloobySnacks today. They're my motivational quotes. I'm like, let's get this party started right now. And I'll say, somebody I'm sitting in front of all these CEOs, like, hey, somebody pick a number between 1 and 22. And the gentleman right in front of me says, 1 and 52. And the gentleman says, number 22, I think is what he said. No, not 22, 32. That's what it is. 32. He says number 32. So that was the one that I was able to read right away. If you want to be paid attention, pay it first.
Mm-hmm.
And at first when I saw it, I was like, oh no, this is the one that my mind went, this is the one that Abby reworded. The way that I originally wrote it, it might be better for this crowd. Oh no, is this? I'm like, well, I can't be inauthentic now. This is the number they choose. I got to read it. Mm-hmm. And it ended up being the thing that helped me keep the attention of these CEOs who are constantly on their phones all the time. But that set a tone for the whole 3-hour talk that I was giving, randomly chosen KloobySnack, and that they realized the importance of paying attention in the Vistage community. They don't get to unplug from their day-to-day lives very often to focus on themselves. And so I wasn't saying anything that was foreign to them, but all of a sudden the KloobySnack reinforced the professional courtesy that's expected to pay attention for the time that you're in the meeting, and you'll go back to your busy life. It's going to be fine. 3 hours won't, Anyway, I just thought that was interesting when that came up. I was thinking about you. All right, number 33, most babies live past the age of 5. Most businesses don't. We commented on this interesting choice of yours to include this among the KloobySnacks that you picked out from the big batch of over 100, because most of them are interpersonal or intrapersonal, and this one's business related. So it's really neat how it shows your curiosity to have an open mind to things that you'll be learning in the future, even if you don't know them now. I think that's wildly mature. 34, nothing works unless we do. You've heard these people say, oh, that doesn't work, this doesn't work, oh, that doesn't work. Well, the truth is, what they're really saying is I'm not working yet. I'm not giving it the patience or the care or reading the instructions or following or on and on and on. So it's always up to us. 35, the only problem that cannot be solved. I like these two coming up, which were the last 2 weeks. The only problem that cannot be solved is the one that does not exist. And the toughest problem you'll ever solve is the one you could have prevented. So this is like optimism. This is regret as far as emotions go. But we don't want anybody to stay in emotion of regret. But sometimes it's nice to like hold up the mirror to see what regret can look like, to make sure we are more careful in the future, preventing the problems that can be prevented rather than having to solve them, which we always can, but I'd rather prevent them than solve them. And in fact, solving them is probably the best way to prevent them. So that takes us to today. Any comments, questions about the review of snacks before we get into number 37, and I'll screen share and set you up to read and everything?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm ready.
You're like, I'm ready to go.
I'm good, right. Coach. I'm good.
All right. Well, this is a fun snack. I'll go ahead and put it up on the board, and then be patient with me as I pull up the PDF. Let's see if I have it opened. I should. KloobySnacks, I do. Okay, let's go to hit this button. No, I don't want to leave the studio. I want to screen share screen, window, screen. Okay, forget this screen, and let's go to the screen. All right, can we see KloobySnacks now?
Yeah.
All right. So this snack is Michael Phelps never won a gold medal swimming in somebody else's lane. And I have some words on this. I have some things to say about this, but let me pull up your response, Abby, so you can go ahead and read your word-for-word response to this snack and just a review of the snacks. There we go, on our way to number 37. We are finding our way there. Here we go. All right. So Michael Phelps never won a gold medal swimming in somebody else's lane. Someone else's lane. Go ahead, Abby. Take it away.
My dad has always warned me about the harms of codependency, but the talk became more frequent in my junior year when I started dating my ex-boyfriend. I have a habit of spending all of my free time with him, which I never saw as a problem. I saw it as quality time, but my dad warned me that it bordered codependency. Wow. When I have a full plate filled with AP classes, theater shows, newspaper articles to write, my family relationships to maintain, and my at-home responsibilities, I need to make sure my plate is cleared before helping someone else clear theirs. My own goals will never be achieved if my focus is another person's goals or life. When swimming, Phelps has a direct map of how to achieve his goal outlined by pool lanes. He isn't going to win any medal by detouring in other people's lanes before circling back to his own. Once he completes his race, he can then interact with the other swimmers, conversing with and congratulating them. The easiest way to get somewhere is to go straight there. If I'm driving somewhere but stop to grab coffee, then stop to get gas, and then stop to get food, it's going to take me much longer to get to my destination than it would have if I went straight there. People say the only way out is through, but in this case, the only way to get there is to go straight there, then make pit stops after.
All right. That's it until we get to next week's snack, which is going to be cool. But all right, so here we are, right? We've made it to this week's snack. So I heard a couple of wows in there, and I'm not going to break form. I'm not going to do anything different tonight than what I normally do. So let me go ahead and say, are you ready? Abby, what is it like reading tonight's snack just a year after we began writing them at all? What a time warp, right?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Let's hear from you,
Well,
Abby.
I can tell you right now that as I wrote that one, I did not agree with. I didn't agree with it at all. Like what I was saying, it was like I'm not agreeing with this. I'm not going to live by this. I'm not going to like implement this in my life. I was like, I acknowledge that this may be true, but that's not my truth. So I can tell you right now, that's yeah. I did not.
I think it's worth saying that I never told you what to write. I never told you how to interpret the snack or what meaning to make. This totally came of you. Like your journal style response is not prompted by me. You wrote those in privacy, and we only saw them afterwards. It was just, here's the snack, and whatever meaning you make of it is the meaning you make of it. So I'm going to ask, tell me more.
I don't even know. I did not like reading that one. It was written beautifully, but I mean, I think that I give like in regards of like personal reflection, I think that now I can proudly say that I think I have really implemented this, not in just like a romantic relationship aspect, but just in general. Like I don't know. I see a lot of changes, and now I can read it and say like, oh, like yeah, these are actually my words that I do implement, and I'm an example of this. But I think it's really interesting now reading it, like knowing that like I know wholeheartedly like I did not agree, nor did I like follow that or live by that at all. Like at the time.
Well, when you say that, do you mean what the snack is trying to say, or the subject you chose to build your response around?
Definitely the subject I chose. I think all parts of it, not just the boyfriend anecdote, but even the driving somewhere and then stopping to get coffee and then stopping to get gas and stopping to get food like that. Like I think I have a habit of that, but also like on a greater scale, getting distracted by things that like I may think matter, but like they really only matter for a certain amount of time or not as much as I think. So yeah, that yeah.
Yeah, well, the wisdom in here, right? Let me see what I got. If I can go back to screen sharing, the wisdom in here, and it's interesting that you say you don't agree, or like you were resisting your own wording. So when you talk about codependency and the boyfriend at the time and spending all free time and all of this stuff, right? I was surprised that you wrote that.
Me too. That really shocked me.
I didn't tell you to come. I didn't say, hey, write about your boyfriend or write about, the hints I'm giving you about how a lot of the time that you're spending is a little unnecessary, and that what you think matters right now, you're going to go away to college and this isn't going to matter. And so like, is that what you're talking about? Like, are you fending off any of the "you're right, Dad" or "you were right," or is it something else that?
I'm not saying that you were right. I think that was necessary for, I think what's it called? Like the whole like concept of like everything you've gone through is necessary to get you to where you are now. Like,
everything happens for a reason at the right and perfect time.
But also like I wouldn't be where I am now without where I've been. Mm-hmm. So I do think that was necessary. And I do think that like I learned a lot from that. And I think that like I can go into new things having learned what I did. So I'm not going to say you're right. I think like, what is this highlighting action?
Well, I'm telling you what I think the wisdom is, and I think it's interesting. I was expecting you to maybe like get past the uncomfortable part and lean into the wisdom of it all. Like, oh yeah, hey, like for me, whether you agreed or disagree or what have you, for the dad, I have to find a way to let you know that this relationship, even not arguing with you, saying it's fine, it makes sense, it's a phase, etc. The truth of the matter is that relationship means nothing, compared to what your future means. And I wouldn't want you to invest so much into this high school relationship to create any barrier. And thank God it didn't, right? There's not going to be nothing in the way. There's a lot of people that don't go away to college, don't live their dreams. And even when they do go away to college, they sabotage their first years because of the high school relationships and because of an over importance that they place on the puppy love and the, like wanting to grow up, wanting to be older, wanting to do what they see out there. It's like, it's exciting when, think about your brother and his high school relationship and where he's at now, et cetera. And so it's interesting to be an adult and to know, high school relationships are important. I had my 35th high school reunion, a couple weeks back, and it really means a lot to see people. And so there is an importance to the relationships. However, what I'm a stand for is like, look, you're too superstar to, limit yourself or restrict your choices or, I only want to go to these schools to be closer to this person. I'm like, what person? Some person that's not going to mean anything to you.
Can I preface? I never said that ever. I never wanted to go anywhere.
Well, no, I'm not. No, I'm not saying that you do. I'm saying so many people do. There's so many people leaving high school that are afraid of their own potential, afraid of the independence, afraid of, and they become attached. They become dependent. They take on somebody else's plans, somebody else's journey, somebody else's priorities, and they make them their own. And the whole KloobySnack is Michael Phelps never won a gold medal swimming in somebody else's race. So I was just trying to make sure that the decisions that you were going to be making as you enter college were 100% about you and your lane and your potential and what's going on for you. I didn't want you to dilute or compromise or commingle anybody else's agenda with your decision making. So I think it worked out that way. I think that you ended up in the absolute perfect spot for you. But isn't it interesting to reflect on where things were a year ago when you wrote this?
Yeah, no, it's weird.
Tell me more. Yeah.
I know. I didn't know that this was what the KloobySnack was because I don't have my own copy. So you pulled it up and I saw boyfriend. I was like, what? But I do agree with what my past self said. I do fully agree with that. I just know that my past self did not agree. But I don't know. I think it's interesting seeing how much has changed and how much I think I've grown since writing that. Now looking back at it.
Tell me more. Yeah, I want to hear about that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that I am in a relationship and all this stuff, but I don't think it's one that takes away from me at all. And I was talking about this with Mom yesterday because he's coming to visit, and Mom was like, "Oh, how's that going?" And I was like, "This is it's so good. This is how this is supposed to be." It's like he's not taking away from my time. It's like I update him about my day and whatever, and he's like, but it's not all my time somehow is going into this, even though he's not here. So it's really nice and it's rewarding to have what I thought that I once did. Does that make sense? But it's weird. It's weird going back and reading that. It's I don't know. It's just weird.
Well, yeah, we've talked about ego defense. So any suggestion at the time that I would make that you are spending an unbalanced amount of time with anybody, right? And then by the way, it could be the lofty reasoning. I was like, oh, you got to invest in yourself and you can't take on other people's problems. But all the way to the transactional stuff, stop hanging out with this person. You have to clean up your room. You can't go hang out with this person when you have your room to clean. You can't hang out with this person when we have stuff to do around the house, or just ignoring, and it never affected your homework or your assignments or what have you, as far as I know. You got into boredom. I mean, case closed, full stop. But, it's just from, there's a lot of times in the parenting journey where we're going to watch our children make decisions about time. And we have the benefit of retrospect. We have the benefit of age. And I wish I could go back and be as young as you were, and I wouldn't waste as much of the time as I wasted in my life, right? Mm-hmm. And it's hard for you to hear that because, like I said, it's ego defense. You don't want to be told that you're wasting time. You don't want to be told that anything that you've decided is important isn't really important. The truth is, it wasn't important. There's a righteousness in there, but things can coexist, right? And it's not just one truth. Everything's multi-determined, as we've talked about. And it's just, as a parent, we have to let you find your own way and discover your own stuff and make your own decisions. But sometimes it's God, we do know. There's a lot that we know. And there's, at least to say this, a year ago, I knew there was a high percentage chance that less than a year from now, you're not going to be with this person. So what's the big deal? Why not focus on your stuff and make sure that you're investing in you rather than oh, can I do this because I have to this or because so-and-so this? All of those things with this other person's life, to me, Like, I'm sorry if I felt insensitive or I felt unsupportive or whatever. I was just being real. It doesn't matter. Like this big reason that you're giving for this thing, it doesn't matter. But I gotta be patient, and we worked our way around all of that stuff. And
Yep.
it's easier again. These decisions that you make about who you spend your time with and your friends and your commitments and so forth. You're an adult now. You're not on your own. We're always here. We're always here. But it's just different now. You're an adult. You're not underneath my roof. I'm not responsible for you the same way that I was before. I'm always here for you, right? My love for you, I probably love you more today than I did yesterday, more today than I did last month. That just keeps growing. My love for you, amazing, right? But my responsibility for you, my responsibility for your decisions and your whereabouts, that's gone, right?
Yeah.
So I was looking forward to your reflections on tonight's snack and looking back just a year ago. Can you imagine that? A year ago, right? And maybe you wrote that in like October, November, maybe.
No, that was one of the last ones I wrote. I wrote that one at the taco shop.
Mm-hmm.
One of the last ones. So it was
even all the way into the holidays, that was the situation, that was the status, right? And then if you look and like, what meaning does that relationship, other than a memory, right? The meaning for the memories and the growth and what you went through together or whatever, cool. But right now, that relationship, it just doesn't. You made a list of everything important in your life, it wouldn't even make the first page, in my opinion, right?
Nuh-uh.
Right. So I just, it's fun to talk about these things with you, and we're on the other side of some tension there, that, me trying to fight for every second of your precious life to be focused on the goods. You know what I'm saying? And I hope you can understand that's where it all comes from, and so the benefit of hindsight is very crystal clear vision, right? Everything's clear in the rear view mirror. It's easier to see now. Oh, Dad just wanted to make sure that I was using every second of my life for something that was really going to benefit me. And not saying that your time with that person didn't, but you can't deny how little that person means in your life now, on a day-to-day basis, given everything else that you've got on your plate, and your future's so bright. It's fascinating to me and fun to talk about. Without our book project, we wouldn't have this conversation, perhaps, right?
Yep.
All right. So, Charlie, you've been online with us. We're moving towards last call here. Do you have any comments or questions for myself or Abby or the KloobySnack?
Oh, good evening and happy birthday again, Abby.
Thank you.
And I wish you all, everything of the best at college, and you seem to have settled in well. Coach, as we always says, these KloobySnacks have their own interpretations. And Abby has taken this KloobySnack and brought it back home to the inside job, to a personal thing. When we did this KloobySnack, I think it was back in 2020, somewhere there, when we first heard it, or I'd heard it before, but we expanded a little bit more as I got, parentheses, addicted to them.
Mm-hmm.
When you says to someone, or someone says to you, stay in your lane, they don't really understand what that really means. And it's only after getting this KloobySnack, and when we expanded on it, is to says, you are unique, you are an individual, you have your own path that you have to navigate. So that is what you need to be focusing on first, before looking at what anyone else is doing on the outside.
Yeah, and sometimes. Yeah, I'm jumping in here, Charlie, because I only have another minute before I have to switch to my online office hours for San Diego State. So I want to try to wrap up. You make an interesting point, and I was so lost or enamored with, the conversation I was having with Abby. I forgot to add that one of the reasons I love this snack is because it turns the potential to take offense on its head. So when we say, like you bring it up, Charlie, nicely, stay in your lane. Sometimes people say, what do you mean stay in my lane? Like, I'm not allowed to go here. I'm not allowed to go here. I can go anywhere I want. Every lane is my lane, or some people may react to like, oh, you're trying to hold me down or restrict me or suppress me or pin me in a hole or pigeonhole me or put me in a box. And that's why I like this snack. It's like, no. We all have a purpose. We all have a genius. And every second we spend outside of our purpose and our genius might be a waste of time. So let's, we turn that upside. I thank you for bringing that up, by the way. And it's a great way to end tonight's KloobySnack. Only because I'm pressed for time. We went from 45 minutes to 30 when the semester started, and I got to go do office hours. So Abby, do you have any last comments or questions before we dismiss for tonight?
I do not. People keep coming in and out of the elevators. I can say that.
Okay.
Wait.
Yeah.
Really quick. Hold on.
Yeah, Charlie, while you're doing that, Charlie, thank you for joining us. Thanks to everybody out there that watched for a little bit or a recording in the future.
You're welcome, Coach.
And there's the view. You can't really see it, but there's the view from the 19th floor of the building at Fordham in New York City. All right. This has been another installment of KloobySnacks, everyone. We'll see everybody next week for KloobySnack number 38. Here's a little preview. I love it. You ready? Mindset is skill set. We'll see everybody next week. Good night.
Bye.
Good night. Have a good one, Abby.
Bye.
Night, Coach Jeff.
Good night, Charlie. Thank you.